It is Monday again, and well, I guess it's been a while since the last Monday I talked to you, because last week I was going through some stuff, and instead of putting out my normal 3 podcasts in 1 week, I went in a slightly different direction and put out 0 podcasts. So it feels good to be in front of the microphone again. So, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like when I get in that frame of mind where I don't want to do any recording, that's probably when I should do the recording, because instead of engaging in these therapy projects, which are so good for me, I slip into this weird space where I don't do the thing because I don't have the energy to do the thing. But the reason I don't have the energy to do the thing, ironically, is because I'm not doing the thing. So anyways, enough of me talking in circles. Here we are, Monday morning. Awesome. I guess a lot of you know this hasn't been exactly the easiest year for me for a number of reasons. I've covered some of them here. I've talked about some of them on In the Blood. And don't need to get super deep into what specifically those things are about. I don't want this to turn into the weekly bitch fest. No need for that. Because really, life is pretty positive. There isn't a lot of stuff to be bitching about. So, yeah. Instead, I wanted to talk about kind of what's been going on with me lately. Share a little bit more about this journey I've been on of stepping out of my comfort zone and exploring new and different things. And it's actually been at the time of real growth for me, and not just in the typical, quote unquote, try something new kind of way, but in some deeply personal and even challenging areas in my life. So yeah, let's get into it. I guess where it really started for me was breaking away from some self-destructive habits. And before I get into the habits, I just want to apologize. I've got a new to me desk chair, and I've noticed that when I talk, I fidget a little bit. And when I fidget, the chair makes these annoying noises. I don't know if they're being picked up by the microphone. If they are, I apologize. I will try to lubricate the chair before I do this again. But anyways, talking about breaking away from these self-destructive habits, just like I need to break away from this noisy chair. I used to find myself limiting myself, allow myself to introduce myself. Get it together, man. I got to start scripting this show. Anyway, I used to find myself limited to the company of just a couple of toxic people, 1 or 2 tops. And I realized that these were relationships I was holding on to out of fear, not because of the value of the connection. And I wasn't really branching out socially. Instead, I was clinging to these 1 or 2 people because I was scared of losing them. And looking back, I realized that I think I'd been conditioned since early childhood to accept abuse. And at times it feels familiar, almost comfortable. But that doesn't make it any less destructive. I guess for me, the shock of everything kind of came to me when I found myself earlier this year in such a dark place that I was actually contemplating taking my own life. And that was a wake-up call for me. And because of that wake-up call, I decided I had to break away from certain people and certain cycles. And the hardest part of that breaking away wasn't the act itself, but facing the unknown that came afterwards. I've always feared the unknown. The way my anxiety manifests is I try to anticipate every imaginable outcome so that if anything unfolds in front of me, I can think, okay, well, that wasn't really surprising. I kind of expected that this might happen. But the problem for me with venturing into the unknown is I don't have enough points of reference to anticipate really anything. So walking away from what I knew, even though it was toxic, it felt terrifying. Like, to say that it increased my anxiety would be a gross understatement. It was terrifying. It shook me to my core. But I think some part of me saw the necessity of it. And so I decided to move forward without these people and without engaging in these habits that, when I say these habits, I mean the habits, the mindset, the whatever that kept drawing me back towards these type of people, After making the decision to step away from these aforementioned toxic relationships, I found myself learning to invest in new connections, the real meaningful kind. And that in itself was a huge change for me. I've always made superficial connections pretty easily, but for whatever reason, I avoided anything deep outside of romantic relationships. But over the past few months, I've started pushing past these insecurities. I've been intentionally learning about people and at the same time allowing them to learn about me. It's been an eye-opening experience, and being exposed to a more diverse social circle has helped me grow in ways that I couldn't possibly have imagined before. And sorry, I'm taking these long pauses because I'm still figuring out how to describe all of it. I really don't know how to put it into meaningful words, but I know this. I know that connection changes a person, and sometimes in unexpected ways. Anyways, one of these new friends I made, he actually helped me reconnect with something that I hadn't done in a while, which was playing guitar. And how it came up was he was learning the ukulele, and honestly, his passion was contagious, extremely contagious. And his passion for playing the ukulele and seeing the look on his face when he was strumming the thing, it really got me thinking about the guitar. And I don't know, that thought about the guitar had been sticking with me for a bit. And eventually he approached me, and through his own weird way of charming me into submission, he convinced me to join him and another friend for a little jam session. And the whole idea was that it was another one of those insecurities he was trying to help me push past, which was I don't really like singing in small groups. And he said, I've heard you sing. You've got a great voice. And I really want to get you singing. And so my expectation was that I was going to be sitting in a room with two other people, one of them being my friend strumming the ukulele, and that we were going to try and sing a Patsy Cline song. But what I wasn't expecting was that this other friend that we were joining brought a guitar with her. And through helping her figure out some basic chords, because she's not really a guitar player per se, she's trying to learn, and helping her through some basic chords, I started to really realize how much I missed playing myself. It wasn't just a case of thinking, oh, it'd be nice to get back into it. It started to feel more like a need. So, after our little impromptu jam session, I found myself just playing around with the guitar a little bit. I mean, it was a bit frustrating as my fingers were weak, my calluses were gone, and honestly, it's not really the best instrument, and it does need new strings, but whatever. It got me thinking, like, I need my own guitar. I need one real bad, because I sold my last one during the pandemic at some point. And anyways, long story, slightly less long. About a week later, I found myself buying a new guitar, and I started practicing every day, and I've been doing that ever since, and I am loving it. Anyways, that's all been like really, really interesting stuff, exciting stuff. But there's a flip side to that. With all this new excitement in my life, I realized that I needed something to balance it out. And again, looking to my past and thinking of like what had worked for me before, I started thinking about how much meditation had helped me. So I started practicing that again. And not just sort of like the casual drive-by way that I'd been doing over the last couple of months, where just like, okay, I'll take a few minutes in the morning to set the tone for my day. I mean, like actually taking a significant portion of my day to dedicate to this practice. And well, I can't claim to have like found balance. I'm definitely getting there. I'm certainly feeling much more grounded, and I could see myself achieving and maintaining balance. It's right within reach. I'm so close. So I'm going to keep on going with that. You know, part of my new way of going about things, my new way of approaching life has been finding some purpose through volunteering. You know, and I've found some of that purpose through volunteering with my local Unitarian Universalist church. And the things I do, it's a bit of a mix of stuff, right? I mean, I help out with building maintenance, with outreach committees. I even started operating the soundboard on some Sunday mornings. And what's been so rewarding for me is knowing that I'm a part of something that's bigger than just me, you know? And I know what it's like to feel isolated, invisible, and even desperate sometimes. So being able to help others avoid these feelings has actually been really, really meaningful to me. Like so meaningful. And I think the best part of all this has been the sense of belonging. Being a part of something that has the power to make a positive impact in the world, it feels amazing. It's bigger than anything that I think I have accomplished on my own before. And oddly enough, by taking the focus off of my own needs and thinking about how I can help others, I'm finding that it's actually paying off for me on a personal level. You know, the more good I do, the more others see good in me. And they tell me so. In turn, I see the good in myself too. It's this cycle where the better I feel about myself, the more inspired I am to do even more good. The more I do good, the more people tell me that they see good. The more they tell me they see good, the more I feel good, and so on and so on and so on. You know, and I used to wonder, like, all the time if something was broken inside of me. Now I'm feeling kind of confident in knowing that I'm a valuable part of the community. It's been one of the most powerful things I've learned through this journey of redefining my comfort zone. So that's where I'm at right now. You know, breaking away from what's toxic, opening up to new connections, finding joy again, and making an impact through volunteering. It's been an incredibly transformative time. And, you know, honestly, it's been scary sometimes, but I'm learning that facing the unknown is where real growth happens. Anyways, my friends, I think that's enough for today. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you next week.